Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Well, we're going to talk about these immigrants because, these immigrants all tell these lies. They came over here with $1 in their pocket. And, first of all, I don't believe those stories. I'm just letting you know. I do not believe that I came with $1 in my pocket. I think all these stories are lies. First of all, what can you do with that? You can't buy food. You can't get a hotel room. You can't get an apartment to pay rent. I'm just not buying this $1 story. Oh, I came with $2. I came with I'm telling y'all, I believe they're all lying. I really do. There is no way where would you stay with that money? In fact, I would say, where can you go anywhere in the world with just $2? Where could you go anywhere on this planet with nothing but $2? Okay, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, immigrants. I'm not believing your story. I'm not believing you at all. So, we know Americans are going through a lot of hardships. There's a lot of our people that are unemployed. Because, I've done the videos, there's not enough jobs to go around anymore. Number two, they're dealing with the same inflation we're dealing with, high rent, high food. They got to pay all of their bills every single month, and grocery prices are crazy. And if we're struggling as Americans, there's no way these immigrants that came from third world countries are here and they're just whizzing through all of this. No. Trust me, they are struggling bad too. What inspired me to do this story? One of my cousins, she needed a ride to work. She was having car problems. So she took Uber this one day to work. And the guy that drove her to work was an African guy. And, they got into a conversation and he told her he was planning on leaving America because he couldn't afford to be here. He said everything is so unaffordable. He was going somewhere else. And that I believe. And I said, well, if this is happening to him, how many other immigrants is this happening to? Let me tell y'all, a lot. Despite the fact that many of them will argue with our people and be nasty and everything, they're not making it as great as you think. They're not. Many of them are barely surviving because of the high cost of living here in America. So let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. And it doesn't matter where they come from, even if they are Canadians, Europeans, Africans, Latinos, they are all struggling. Many of them are struggling very badly. In fact, I think I told y'all this story. It must have been back in 2023. Um, I had this one particular day, I got DoorDash, and the woman that brought my food, I noticed she had an accent. She was white and she had an accent. And I was just curious. I said, "Are you from Ukraine?" And she said, "Yes." Because I looked at her name and I saw her and I heard the accent. I said, "Are you from Ukraine?" She said, "Yes." She was doing DoorDash, this Ukrainian woman. And y'all don't think because they are white immigrants that they're having an easy time here, even they're struggling. What I have discovered, because I'm going to show y'all European and Canadians that are being deported from here. I'm going to show y'all that at 145. They are being picked up by ICE. They are being deported. Here's the problem. The media in this country only want to show you black and brown immigrants getting detained by ICE. They don't want to show you the white ones that are being detained. This is a media thing. Trust me, it is. There are videos all over TikTok of these, or it's either stories or, white Europeans and Canadians being detained by ICE. It is happening. And it just proves who owns the media in America, because they don't want to show you these white immigrants being detained. They are very explicit about who they want to show you and who they don't want to show you. I just want to put that out there. But they are absolutely being detained in this country. But if you look at the media, you would think it was not happening. Okay, y'all, please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Oh, they're getting the Russians. They're getting you remember all them Ukrainians that Joe Biden brought over here? Their asses are being detained and sent back to Ukraine. Because Donald Trump likes Putin. He don't care for Zelensky. So he don't care about these Ukrainians that Biden brought over here. He's getting them out of here. He is literally getting these Biden Ukrainians the hell up on out of here. But like I said, the media they won't show you these white foreigners being detained. They only want to show you black and brown people being detained. That's what's going on in the country. Thank you, y'all. Thank you for the ones.
Today I hear the phrase, go back to your country. Trust me, I never ever dreamed to get to America. Okay, never ever in my life. I had the perfect life in Ukraine. I had the perfect life in my home. But Russian destroyed my home. They destroyed my town. They destroyed my life. And we was homeless with my family, okay? The one reason why they're here is because I was afraid that the Russia gonna continue. They will. Russia gonna confront me some other time. But I never ever dreamed to come to America. It's so easily to start a new life here. You think it's so easily with the social security, with the banking. We even was not allowed to rent apartments here. We even don't have money from us. Okay, you think it's so easily to start a new life? Or telling me when we're gonna go back to your home, Riley? I'm here 1.5 years. It's gonna be so easy to let you go back with all the memories how your house was destroyed. Or these 3 days that you tried to go from the border from the Ukraine. You think it was so easily? I hear this phrase from the man because I told him you cannot allow your dog on a kids' playground without the leash, and he told me, "Oh, go back to your country and tell your rose to somebody else there."
So y'all asking for part five. Part five is I don't even know which part this is, but I'm gonna backtrack a bit. So um I'm gonna highlight instances during my time here that like really shaped me. So I remembered my cousin invited me to Massachusetts, my big cousin, for a party and to pretty much connect with the family. So I was hesitant because I'm like, people haven't been nice, family haven't been nice. So I really don't know if I should go. So I asked my ex-husband, I'm like, should I go? And he's like, yeah, go connect with your family, you know? And I went. While I was there, it was so good to see everybody because I genuinely was happy to see everyone. My little cousin that I used to change their diapers are all growing up. You know, it was fun to see and be around everybody. We had good food, we partied, we had a good time. So um I remember when I got there, I think one of my auntie is like, "Oh, um, I think she asked me, where's my car? I'm like, I don't have one. I should like made a statement like, oh, she work in a big bank, I don't have no car. So when she said that, that cut me to my core. She, I don't know if she did it maliciously, but that did something to me and it forever stuck in my head. So I'm like, okay, you're trying to deplete my confidence. Okay, cool. So um we went to Marshall's. No, we went to Rainbow's one day and there was a dress that I saw and it was $5. I bought it, right? But my cousin won in one as well, but they didn't have any more in that style. So I'm like, okay, I would have bought it for her if they had it in a style. So when we go back, I'm packing up to come back to Connecticut and somebody stole my dress out my bag. So I'm like, where the hell is my dress? Where the hell is my dress? Nobody ain't answering, so I'm getting mad. My cousin who owned the house, like, oh, shut up, Emma McLeod, you're coming at people, good neighbor. Oh, I don't know how to act. Me neighbor police officer, me make him lock you up. I'm like, well, do we have to do? What do we have to do? Like, well, what you mean? Like, you're not gonna talk to me like that. And she like, we shut up and all of that. So we face to face. And this girl is thicker than me, taller than me. And she swung and it connect. And that set me off. We were in there tussling. And yeah, she probably she got her ass beat. If you ask her the story, she gonna be like, no, I know. Yeah. So I whooped her ass. She gonna say different, but it is what it is. I know I did. So when I was done, she was bleeding, and my aunt was like, "Oh, you come draw blood in our house. You come draw blood in our house." I'm saying, "I'll do it again." She ain't gonna talk to me like she crazy. So she there running her mouth. Oh, yes, Stamford mattress. But keep in mind, I'm married. She there, yes, Stamford mattress, and you grudge me for my house and care and all. And you're not accomplished shit. I'm like, it's expected that you'd have all of these things. You've been in this country for years. I'm just up and coming. Like, just give me some time to get my foot in. Yeah, so she did it. Oh, she gonna call immigration for me. I'm like, okay, that's where I draw the line. I'm like, do it. Because when you land at Sangsters, you're gonna have to watch your back. Because if I go back home, you're gonna have to watch your back. Well, what you gonna call immigration for? So um anyway, I left and I was pissed. And my big cousin picked me up and dropped me back at the bus station. And she felt bad. I could tell she felt bad. And I didn't deal with those people again, didn't go back to Massachusetts until this year when my grandmother died. Because like in that instance, they depleted my confidence so bad. I was hurt. And then when I was back at work, at my bank job, they call me and terrorize me. I wish I had the recordings. I know I saved them. I know I saved them, but I can't locate them. I wish I had a recording so I could play it. And my manager, I was telling her about it because we had a good relationship. And she's like, just ignore it. Just ignore it because they can't threaten your job because I'm not gonna let you go. I love you. So there's no way they're gonna get you fired because they were like, oh, we'll get you fired, this and that and all of that. Anyway, um I didn't deal with those people for years. And then this year my grandmother died and I went to a family event and then everybody brushed everything under the rug and we had to play along and yes. Yeah, I do think they owe me an apology because I don't know if they know how what they did affected me. And them not apologizing tells me they do not care. So That's how I'm taking it. But yeah, so I gotta go to work. So
We try to make it work here, but without help, it's too expensive. Tonight, with public assistance programs nearly out of money, many migrants who arrived in the U.S. over the past 2 years are choosing to return to their home countries, saying they see a better future there.
So the news finally admits it. The public assistance money is drying up, and now migrants are choosing to go back home because they see a better future. These programs didn't just help migrants, they attracted them. Free housing, free food, free healthcare, hotel rooms, prepaid cards, all while American citizens struggle to afford groceries and rent. And now the money's tapped out. Suddenly the American dream doesn't seem so dreamy anymore. This proves what we've been saying the whole time. When you build a system that rewards people for arriving, not contributing, people show up for the rewards, not the responsibility. And when the benefits stop, so does the migration. Simple math, simple truth.
We hadn't necessarily taken into consideration the cultural differences.
But those cultural differences weren't often talked about when Andrea signed up to the Homes for Ukraine scheme. She lives in a diverse part of Birmingham. After a week of staying there, her guest told her there were too many Muslims in the area.
We were quite shocked at how difficult she found different cultures. She felt there were just too many Muslims. Too many people with different skin colors.
Her guest's son was enrolled into the local school, where the majority of children happened to be Black and Asian.
And then to just have her complain about the demographic of the school and going, well, he can't be safe there. There's not enough white kids, essentially. The majority of my neighbors are Muslims. A lot of them are Kashmiris or Pakistanis, Indians, and they're wonderful people. And you just felt if you just would sort of give them the time, perhaps we'd come to the same conclusion.
They both agreed to end the placement.
Yes, the American system is not designed to make you succeed while you're still doing your 9 to 5. The American system is not designed to give you that luxury of life to keep sending money from America to any country of the earth while you're still doing your 9 to 5 job. Your American system is not designed to help you cater for more family members while you're still doing your 9 to 5 job. It is designed in a way that all the money that you make just keep you surviving and taking care of yourself. Anything outside of that, you are going to be punished for it, directly or indirectly. That is why for those of you that are immigrant from other parts of the world into the system, into America, you suffer a lot because you've got a lot of people that depend on you. You suffer a lot because you don't have generational wealth. You suffer a lot because all the money you're laboring to work for goes into bill, and you see it on your taxes all the time. You're told you make $60,000, you make $70,000, $80,000, $100,000. But when you look at your bank account, you cannot truly see the money sitting in your bank account. By the way, most of the money you make is taken away, and whatever is left, that is what is given to you. So why am I saying all this thing? This does not mean America's system is not good. America's system is good, is great, is beautiful, is excellent, is everything. But in order for you to live a good life in this good system, you have to learn something. You have to be willing to step out of the comfort zone. You have to be willing to learn something new. You have to be willing to invest. You have to be willing to start up something. You have to be willing to make new friends. You have to be willing to listen to something new. You have to be willing to be mentored, to be coached. These are the only way you can make your way into the place of financial freedom. My friend, if you want to truly, if you're serious about your success, you will take risk. If you're serious about your success, you will want to learn. If you're serious about your success, you want to know that it's not going to be handed over to you on a platter of gold. You have to go out for it. You have to go out for it. I have a blueprint that I'm using. It is a done for you blueprint. And if you truly want your freedom and you say, hey, I need
let's see. When you're moving to a new country, your level of motivation is so very high. You have a great self-confidence. You think you know what to do. You know what you're going to be. You have a dream. Maybe you've seen this in American movie. Then you get to the point and you start to act and you fail. Your motivation is going up. You start to act again. You fail and fail and fail and fail. And then you're so frustrated. You can't act anymore. And you're just giving up and think, okay, probably that was a mistake. Probably I will be better back to my country, or maybe I'm not talented enough, etc. Imposter syndrome kicks in. What we forget is that between motivation and action, there are two more steps. And these steps are very neglected by lots of immigrants when they come to United States. Step number 2 after motivation is knowledge. You can't act in a culture without knowing this culture. You can't get successful in a country when you don't know about the culture of this country, when you don't know how to communicate, how to get to conflict resolution, how to reach people, how to build connections and network. You can't act without knowledge. And even if you know and learned lots of things, you still shouldn't act right away because you'll fail again. You need to get a strategy. And the strategy is the most important part of this. Knowing the culture, how are you going to act to get yourself to the result? And it is so rare when people get to these 2 points, knowledge and strategy. They just think, if only I find a job, I will be successful. No, you will not. Because you find this job, you lose this job right away if you will not learn how to communicate and how to be productive, how to keep this network, and how to build the circles around you.
Me I do that video here for the people in the US and you're struggling. You're struggling to the point where you're in a shelter. You're struggling to the point where you're in a family house and things is not okay. Things aren't what you expected. You come here in the United States and you feel like say, I would be well and you have the resilience and you have the strength to pull through, but you find yourself a fault, you find yourself a lose faith. I want to let you know that hope is there. But you still have hope. All is not lost. If you don't know my story, if you have been following me for a long time, I've been in a shelter. I've been in a shelter before. You could have never look for me and think, say, look behind the DD's clothes, my love, because nothing there, Sabra. I've been in a shelter before in a foreign, and a lot of my family never know this until I open my mouth and decide that I'm struggling in a foreign before. So I'm here to tell you that even though in a shelter, I'm see quite a few people are come my way who is in the shelter as I'm making this video, or on them way to the shelter as I'm making this video. Me did it. I lost everything. Everything go up in a flames before my very eye on the freeway. When I was traveling, I was doing RVing and I lost everything. I had a newborn baby. When I live a foreign, you know, no help. You left your family, you left your good life down a yard, but you come here for opportunity. And America is a place that you have to fend for yourself. Nobody's coming to save you, not always. I never had that. I never opened up to persons to share what I went through. And the worst of the worst, because if this can come out of shelter, if here for you, immigration can come out of shelter, can come out of the train, can come off of the street, no matter which part you them love me. You have life, you have hope. Don't yet. It is you, it is up to you. No me, we are going to help you. No your child, no your man, no your auntie, and no none of them are going to help you. You have to search in yourself. You have to search in yourself and see how you can dig your way out of what you're in right now. And this is what I did. I went in a shelter, I don't know, one time. Maybe in the shelter more than one time. Need after looking at myself, I applied for a job. I had a newborn baby on my hand. None of those live in a work out for me because I couldn't manage a job despite having my qualification. I was doing medical billing and coding. Despite having my qualification, The job could help me because I have a newborn baby that I couldn't focus on working while taking care of a child. Me have to tap within myself and find my skill. See ya? Here for immigration. It was my skill and this thing in a mokote so I tell me say she have to come out. If not for me newborn baby and my little boy we're gonna come up in a few months. And I had to search within myself. So the answer we are look for to take you to a shelter, in a here for you immigration, it in a you. We always have to get to this breaking point where we say free it, enough is enough, and then we get up and lift up ourselves. You have to dig for that in a you. You have to dig for that within yourself to find your breaking point where you say enough is a free enough and get up. No fun to come and have skills, stop depend on the 9 to 5. When we start this, I'll enough laugh them laugh off of me. Enough come off of me. Oh, you're going like you're a liar. Oh, you're going like you're this. They came at me. Big and small fish came at me. But me never stop. Even when I was in the shelter, I started this business. The person for the shelter let me know say, I cannot use the address for the shelter to put on my business address, even though I didn't. They just assume I did. So when I started my business using my skills, me have all kind of obstacles. I tell me say I can't do it, but I did, and I did. So digging at your office, see what skill you have. So on a minor skill, it can be a 9 to 5, but stop being fearful or being ashamed if you go at the institution and ask them for work. You feel like them are going to lock you by eyes, or going to lock you by eyes. Now walk and look for nobody. If you are walk and ask a job, someone to make on pride getting out of the way. Someone will wait for validation from a friend. Imagine me could have said to somebody, say, hey, me I go start one business. No, them attempt say, no, you're in a shelter. What kind of business I go start? You can help the immigrant and you're in a shelter yourself. Some of you are sharing a business with a friend or a family, and the thing is that they're not breathing life into you. The validation that you're seeking from them, they're not going to give to you. They're going to find a way to talk you outside. Me, I want a speech where Steve Harvey said, when him say, listen, God never gave family, your friend, or your man, or your woman the vision, He gave it to you. If He had wanted others to see what it is that He instilling in you, then He would have showed them to Him, show you, show me, say, listen, start this, help other immigrant like yourself, be in a shelter, start it. Because I said, God, me in a shelter, we have to about me, I will find someone for him not time for that. No, I didn't. I was saying enough is enough. And I took my phone and I went outside and I had somebody, July, I come up, like a second year, or third year. I lost everything, the anniversary, I come right up. And it was hot and I took my phone and I went outside and I made a video and I posted on TikTok and I blew up right away. Because I find 20 million excuses to tell God to not do it. So somehow I see you guys reaching out. But sometimes me telling you, it will not help. It have to come from you. Or you have to help you. Or you have to look at your pitney them beside and say, shit, me have to do it. If not for me, but for them. You have to do what you have to do. I know the worst of the worst. I live in a shelter. I'm still at. I still come home. I still have to take care of my film. Still make my video. I do live in the shelter. Enough people they know I live in a shelter. I wasn't looking for pity. I didn't play a victim. I play a friggin' hero. I'ma come out on top. Because me that for win regardless. Me drop on my face. Nobody never know me could have call everybody and tell them, yo, me homeless, yo, homeless, help me. No. I use the phone that I have in my hand. I'ma find the resources. Shelter for single woman, clothing for single woman, immigration for single woman. Use up the Google, not just for TikTok. Use up the phones in your hand and call for help from persons who have institution, non-profit to help you. Don't just sit down and decide to you're staying at shelter till you get to a house. After government, go up on the road with the baby or yourself and go look to work. Because here, what if you can't overcome this obstacle, a foreign you're going to live in and take on 5 years, at 7 times rise and 7 times fall if you fall, one time you can't take up yourself. I don't know Jamaica, you go survive with other. So tell yourself there's no going back. This long, I know it long. Tell yourself there's no looking back. You have to take up yourself from the lowest point.
How can you be in a country for over a decade or approximately 20 years and you don't have a legal document?
So let me question. Let me touch on that right now, Bill, because that kind of hit home a little bit to me, right, bro? Been in America for like 20-some years, bro. When I tell you, I probably had like I had papers to work before it was called working document, right, bro? To get papers in America, it's no joke. We spend money. We file all kind of different papers, bro. Like the people there can dare deny you and take your money. You could do nothing about it. We try all kind of ways. So the way I was able to get papers in America when Trump became president, some kind of people they say Liberians that been in America for a long time with no criminal record can get papers. That's how I was able to get papers, right? He was like, how you in America so long, bro, to get papers. So do you know how hard to even come to America? Do you know some people in there can literally like lose their life trying to get to America? Like, bro, America is not no joke.
A lot of measures.
You understand? So like we gotta stop. Like I know you may not know about like the process, bro. It's not easy. So for me, I'm somebody that went through the whole situation, and I'll tell people that going through like this not having paper, bro, it's not your fault.
Now, what he's saying is very true. I was looking online at how much some of these immigration attorneys cost. It is expensive having an immigration attorney. Some of them, like if you get detained, some of them want $15,000, or you got to give them a $5,000 retainer and all this stuff. It is very expensive. That's one thing I have to agree with him. He's telling the truth. And if you're trying to do papers, they want several $1,000s. It is not cheap getting through this system just to become naturalized. That's why so many of them, because they just don't have thousands and thousands of dollars to give to an immigration attorney. So that's why they will forego getting one and just be here undocumented, because they really, on the salaries they're making, they don't have the money to do it the right way or get an attorney that will help them with the paperwork. It is a lot of money. Right now, an immigration attorney is making some big bucks. And like he said, you could file all the paperwork, get yourself an attorney, pour thousands of dollars into trying to become naturalized, and still get turned down. That money is now lost. You don't get that money back. So it is not as easy as you think. I sure would never want to be in their shoes in trying to become legal. You know, it's easy for people to sit around and say, why don't they do this and that? If you don't have those thousands that these immigration attorneys are demanding, you're really screwed. You're really screwed for real. I don't think I would have taken the chance to come here if I didn't have the means to make myself legal. I don't think I would have come to the country at all. That's just where I stand. All right, let's go on.
I do it every day here for the people in the US, and you're struggling. You're struggling to the point where you're in a shelter. You're struggling to the point where you're in your family house, and things is not okay. Things aren't what you expect it. You come here in the United States and you feel like, say, I would be well, and you have the resilience and you have the strength to pull through, but you find yourself a fault, you find yourself a lose faith. I want to let you know that hope is you still have hope. All is not lost. If you don't know my story, if you all been following me for a long time, I've been in a shelter. I've been in a shelter before. You could have never look for me and think, say, look behind the DD's clothes, my love, because nothing not there, so I brought up. I've been in a shelter before in a foreign, and a lot of my family never know this until I open my mouth and decide for time I struggled in a foreign before. So I'm here to tell you that even though in a shelter, I see quite a few people that come my way who is in the shelter.
And see, that's another thing, y'all. Many of these foreigners are ending up in homeless shelters. Many of them are. And of course, when the ones that are online insulting us, telling us we don't have no culture. See, this is the part of immigrant life they don't tell you. A lot of them end up in homeless shelters because they absolutely, with the little bit of money they are making here, it is not enough for them to sustain themselves at all. Let's go on.
As I'm making this video, or and them way to the shelter as I'm making this video. Me did it. I lost everything. Everything go up in a flames before my very eye on the freeway. When I was traveling, I was doing RVing and I lost everything. I had a newborn baby. When you live a foreign, you not help. You live your family, you live your good life to the yard, but you come here for opportunity.
I don't know how many more TikToks I have to record and post to get on the conservative side on TikTok and have a conversation. The situation that Ukrainian refugees are having to navigate through here in the States is actually impossible to go through. And I think that any common sense person can see that and understand that. And I have to preface this, I am for strong borders. I'm for strict immigration policy, all that stuff. I think if you want to come to this country, you have to come here legally in whatever terms that we decide. But I don't think it's productive to broad stroke all immigrants because Ukrainian refugees that came here from the war are fleeing active war zones. Some of them have Russians living in their homes and in their areas. And now their legal status, temporary legal status, is expiring here in the States. And the process of renewal is extremely long and extremely difficult, leaving them with no options. We've been writing to our representatives here in Georgia, and they've been communicating us with very well, and other groups in other states. And a couple of weeks back, we received a letter from a congressperson. I don't remember which state it was, but they said, yes, we know that based on UCIS statistics, on average, the process to get your status renewed is 14 months, and to get work permits renewed is 10 months. And they said that once your application approaches those dates, reach out to us, and then we will try to help and escalate your application. But just today, there was a Wall Street Journal article that said that the Trump administration is putting in policy to decrease work authorization for temporary status reparoles refugees from 5 years to 18 months. Now, let's do some math together. If you reapply to get your temporary status extended, and it takes 14 months, and you only get your work permit after 10 on average, what option does that leave people with who came here legally, entered the country legally? What does that leave them with for 10 months? They can't work, can't provide for their families. And keep in mind, all these applications and everything cost money, thousands of dollars. You're leaving these people who fled war zone, who left everything they had, left homes, businesses, churches, ministries, families, left everything they had to come here. They didn't want to be here. It was because they were attacked. They were targeted. And now they came to this country, many of them working, that's all they were asking for. Let us work. Let us be contributors to society. They're building businesses, participating in ministry, doing all these things. With this policy, we're leaving them with no option. Can't work for 10 months, no status for 14 months, and have to pay for all this. Any common sense person can see that this is an issue and leaves you in such a limbo state. You can't leave because their applications have not technically been denied, but they can't do anything while they're here legally. I don't see in any way how this is productive. And if this is you find yourself in this situation, I highly recommend grab somebody who's a permanent resident or a citizen and work together to write and contact your representative. Tell them your story, let them know that you're going through this, and try to have them on your behalf contact UCIS. Maybe you're discouraged, you think that writing's not going to do anything, but I promise you, if you contact your representative, they're looking to help, and anyone with common sense can see that this is not a productive issue, and we had to solve it. We've been communicating with our representative. I've been writing and visiting Andrew Clyde's office, and they've been very awesome, very helpful, have responded, and are looking for solutions. They even said that they weren't aware that people in the district were facing this issue. So my whole thing is, if you don't speak up and you don't make an effort, no one's going to know. So if you're a citizen here in America, or you're a resident and you have people around you that are going through this, just make an effort, try to help. And if people aren't aware, they're not going to help. So write to your representatives, let them know. All representatives, all people that have common sense can see that this is an issue. So yeah, I just hope that I just wish rather that our administration could see that this is not beneficial And long term, we need a better solution for this. And I just wish that conservatives could see that. So that's my message for y'all.
And Amy, the refugees I spoke with are so grateful to be here in the U.S., to be alive, and to be out of a war zone. Many of them left behind their entire lives. And as they begin a new chapter here, there's still so much uncertainty over how long they can stay. Snow covers demolished buildings in Kyiv, Ukraine, months after the Russian invasion. For mother and daughter, Elizabeth Shershko and Victoria Balatina, snow may be the only thing that's similar in their new home in Minneapolis.
It's been very hard in Ukraine for the past few months because there is no electricity.
The Kyiv natives came to America less than a month ago, leaving behind their husband and father.
I don't know if I see him ever again. I love him very much.
They're among tens of thousands of Ukrainians who fled after Russia invaded last February.
The number one priority for us is to go to work.
Alexandra Shakova worked as a Ukrainian cosmetologist for over 10 years.
So I'm looking for such work here, but I know it's very difficult to find, to get license here, and I don't know how to get.
The Lutheran Immigration and Refugee Service says a majority of Ukrainian refugees are women and children, which means they face childcare issues too.
There are often language barriers that prevent Ukrainians from working in their chosen field. Transportation, for example, is a major obstacle. They don't have access to cars.
American Service and Ukraine Director Aswa Rumen helps Ukrainian families come to the U.S.
One thing I wish the government did to allow people to plan out long term is to make it clear that we don't intend to send anybody back, any of our friends back to places that aren't at the moment even habitable.
Right now, Ukrainians are only allowed to stay in the U.S. for up to 2 years. And the American Service in Ukraine and the Lutheran Immigration and Refugee Service say that they hope the government will extend this. I reached out to Senator Klobuchar's office about if she supports asking the administration to extend this on Monday, and have yet to hear back.
They're not extending it, y'all. They're not. And the Ukrainians had a problem, just like the South Africans. When the South Africans came here, they are complaining they're having problems finding work. Well, the same thing happened to the Ukrainians. The same thing happened to them. They got here and then they were having a hard time finding work. That's why some of them were doing things like, DoorDash and Grubhub and stuff, because a lot of places of employment would not give them jobs. And, like they said, when you come to this country, number one, you need transportation. You need to be able to, if you don't have a car, you need to at least pay for transportation. Then, you got an issue with a work permit. So these folks are struggling. They are struggling. They may be here, but they are struggling. But chances are many of these Ukrainians that were brought in by the Biden administration, they're going to have to leave. Many of them are going to have to leave. Donald Trump is at the point he's not helping any of these immigrants out that are here. And yeah, I know they want more white immigrants, but they'll just let these Ukrainians leave. They won't keep them here. So many of them are afraid because their time here is done. It was only temporary. So it is what it is. So immigrant life in America is, despite the fact that there are many online trying to play like it is just a piece of cake, it is far from that. Many of these people are being very disingenuous. They're not telling the truth at all. Because you got to think about it. If it's bad for many Americans, I've showed you videos of Americans that have lost their jobs. They've been looking sometimes a couple of years to find another job. So if it's taking Americans that long, These immigrants, man, trust me, they don't have it easier than us at all. Mm-mm. Well, I got one that's coming in my upcoming video. From not my upcoming, a past video. In fact, yesterday I showed you a guy that was here from Sweden, and his ass was being deported back. And he was on video complaining about being deported. He was from Sweden. Don't think for one moment white immigrants are not being deported. It's just the media won't show it on TV. So it gives this false illusion that they're grabbing everybody except for white immigrants, and it's not true. They're being grabbed too. The media in this country just refuse to highlight the white Europeans and Canadians that are being snatched out of here. It's a media thing, but they are being deported. They are being grabbed up in court appearances because I've seen some of the videos. Some of them will go into court on their court date, and as soon as they walk out of court, you know how ICE will grab people? It's happening to the white immigrants too. As soon as they walk out of court, they're getting grabbed up by ICE. But it's happening to them. Mhm. Boy, just listening to these stories, I don't think even if I was a foreigner, I don't think I would go. I would just tough it out at home. I don't know what these people were thinking. How do you come to another country and do so bad you end up in a shelter because you literally cannot make it. You don't have the financial means to make it in the new country you just moved to. I don't think I would have made that move. I would have found a way to make it work at home. I don't know what these folks are thinking. If it's so bad that you gotta go down to living in a shelter, maybe it's time to accept the fact that you need to go home. That's how I see it. That's how I see it. So, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much. I do wanna make an announcement. We had a blizzard here in my state. In fact, it's still snowing. So no orders are going out today. We are clearing everything out today. So hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to get all the orders that came in out first thing tomorrow. All right. So it'll be just a slight delay in getting everything out due to inclement weather. So everybody, please enjoy the rest of your day. I do have another live coming at 1:45, and this one you're going to hear from um, Europeans and Canadians that have been detained and spent time in detention by ICE. So I will see you then. Shalom, family.